this Rama screen with Rachel Flowers and director Lorenzo. How you doing? Good. Congratulations on the movie. Let me start with you, Mr. Lorenzo. This is such an inspiring story. Very empowering documentary. Tell me a bit about at one point did you come across her story?
Sure. Um, Ventura nightclub. Rachel's playing in a trio. January 18th, 2014. I go in to hear her, and the world sort of changed in a way for me and for all of us. We decided pretty soon after we started filming about 2 months later, and we filmed for almost 2 years, 53 days of shooting over a 2 year period. So we get to see the family interaction, the dynamic. Her grandparents are musicians, her parents are musicians. Her younger brother is an artist, you know.
That's John.
Yeah. So, spent time looking into a family that was just going on with their lives. If no one had made a film about them, they'd still be fine. But I wasn't looking to do another film like this. I'd done a couple others, but it seemed they lived 20 minutes from me. So things started to collide in my mind that it would be something we should at least start, see where it went, And they just kept being cooperative and participating in the idea, and we've gone through a lot together, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Rachel, why did you feel it was important to tell your story in this format?
Um, it's pretty exciting. It's very interesting, I think, because it's got my mom and dad, my brother, and my grandparents talking in there, and sort of how it all got started with me having retinopathy of prematurity and music being the first language that really spoke for me, and then naturally playing instruments, and then lessons, and then
You're sharing,
Yeah.
You like to share your
I
story.
yeah.
Now, this next one is my as a fan question. I've read you work with such greats as Stevie Wonder, right? Quincy Jones.
I didn't work with them, I met them.
You met them. I'm sorry, you met them. A lot. The rest of us can only attend their concerts. You actually get to meet them. How are they to you? I mean, what kind of lessons did you take from that experience?
I don't really remember what the experience was like, unless if it was like one that was very memorable.
Why don't you tell them about the Herbie Hancock dolphin dance?
Yeah, Herbie Hancock,
Oh.
I love his music. He's like one of my favorite jazz pianists. And I first heard him on a Stevie Wonder recording from Songs in the Key of Life. And so after that, I checked out some of his stuff and listened to the song Dolphin Dance. And a lot of people, when they play this song, they don't really get into a lot of the harmonic structure of it. They're playing it based on, I guess, the chord charts, and they're not all that accurate. So I'm always listening to the original recording by the person that wrote it. Mm-hmm. So I played it for Herbie one day for this event where Quincy Jones was there, and
Nice.
Clark Terring was there, Herb Albert, a lot of people. But anyway, he heard me play this, and later on he said I was the first person who could play that one voicing right.
You were amazing. This is an amazing documentary. I love it very much. I was wondering
Thanks.
also, Mr. Lorenzo, I'm sure coming into this project, Rachel already had a lot of footage of her performances. Can you explain about the process of selecting, which ones to put in the film and how you put the story together, so that it can have a story?
Well, it was not like finding someone who was totally unknown. She has a pretty big fan base, which is exponential and growing over the years. And her mom, Jeannie, had, made videos that she shot herself and YouTube things and started to get the word out. That's where I first, after I met her, I went home and And I think the first thing I watched was the national anthem variations,
That was fun.
which we then reshot, which is out there now. And
Adapting it into the styles of a lot of my favorite musicians and composers and different artists and all
so
that.
who were some of the people you played?
Did Taylor Ikesty, Steve Reich, Debussy, Chopin, Mozart, Ligeti.
Oh, they would have played that melody we all sort of take for granted,
Yeah.
with Francis Scott Key, America. The Americas needs some redefining now, and so we like that piece. It was in the can. I didn't tell you this for 3 years, Rachel. I never saw the edited. We just never had time, And then when it came time to do the bonus features, we cut it together, and it was just great.
That was a while ago too.
Yeah, it was the first few weeks I think we shot that.
Yeah, and I was before I went online to go through the sounds on my Nord keyboard, which I played on. It's one of my favorite keyboards to play.
But the footage, the incorporating of some of those videos, we didn't use any of the whole videos, but we used pieces from them.
Little excerpts like the Emerson, like in Palmer excerpts here and there, just to give a little bit of a preview on. So if people want to check out the YouTube videos, they could check them out. And
yeah, because the movie would be 5 hours long,
it'll be a lot.
And we had to edit some of the music down just to fit in,
Snippets.
Yeah, just try to artfully,
The basics.
get that song in there, because the Zappa stuff's very long usually.
That was fun too.
Yeah.
Playing with Frank's son was pretty cool.
And also, I admire how you also take your time to be with the kids that also are learning music, learning instruments.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was really nice too.
Can you talk a bit about some of the things that these kids have said to you, or how did they inspire you in return? Because you've inspired them, of course.
I don't really remember now. I just was pretty happy. It's pretty cool that they were playing all these instruments that, like these orchestral instruments, like bowed instruments, violins, cellos, and saxophones and flutes. And I was like, wow, that's neat. That's really
Those
cool.
are difficult. Right?
Yeah, they're hard instruments to play, and they're pretty good. So I played on this keyboard, which I didn't really feel enthusiastic about the synthesizer they had there, but I played for them, and I played the flutes, and it was just really cool to share with them, and they were really nice too. And then also the Youth Symphony Orchestra in was it Santa Barbara? Yeah, that was pretty cool. We had all these young people playing the orchestral parts of one of my pieces.
Nice.
There was a 10-year-old
Yeah.
girl in there. I saw her on film. I said, she is young. And how old is she? They said 10, which was how old you were when you did the Ray Charles thing.
Yeah.
We have a bonus feature coming out with her and Ray Charles 3 months before he died. And she's playing Take 5 for him.
Dave Brubeck.
And you did some Debussy also.
Debussy, yeah. That was a really
So she's
fun experience.
rubbed shoulders with some giants. And, she's a giant herself. And then there'll be people that you nurture along the way, like those kids.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now, as I'm winding down my final questions here, I want to ask, what do you, Rachel, hope your fans and the audience would get out of watching this documentary? And it's a two-part question. What's your advice to fellow child prodigies out there, or young prodigies such as yourself?
Let's see. And keep exploring all kinds of music. If you like pop music, or you like classical music or jazz, or if you like to expand, have people maybe share music, or do a lot of research, or for a child prodigy, I don't really know much.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I think another thing would also be, like, if you're playing with someone, listen a lot to what the other person's playing, and you get to explore things you hadn't really thought of doing. It's like,
Well, like the Arturo Sandoval
Yeah,
collaborations, we had 1 hour with him.
that was fun.
And she had met him some years before at the Ventura Music Festival, where she won the student
Jazz
competition.
competition.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, you know.
Yeah.
He remembered her, but you know, he's got a rehearsal coming up, and
Yeah.
that day, he says, "You got an hour." So we did so much in an hour,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it was fun.
And hearing their interplay, this is a multi-Grammy-winning guy,
Yeah.
and then Rachel, new talent, and he
cool.
was very impressed by your ear and how
Oh yeah.
she'd follow and comp his changes, and
Listening to what he was playing and taking a pause when he played, and just like, cause like one thing that I learned from listening to stuff like Miles Davis or Amal Jamal, who were like influential jazz musicians. Amal Jamal was very influential on Miles Davis on his approach to space. Like you might be playing an idea, and if you can't think of anything to play, don't play it. Just let the rhythm section keep going until you feel like you want to play an idea or listen to what the other person's doing. And so when I played with Arturo, when I play with a lot of people, I'm always listening to the other player and taking time, because sometimes I don't want to overpower the rest of the ensemble. I just like to, when it's time, just based on what's been played and what hasn't been played. And it's a fun thing to do. You incorporate what you learn from recordings or different genres, and then incorporate that into your own music or your own writing. Or yeah.
On that note, thank you so much. Yes, and congratulations on Hearing is Believing.